There is a certain content creator who said, if you want to be popular or your content to be viewed widely or to increase viewership, one day just die and then you resurrect after 1 week. You'll be surprised to realize that your content will have widely been shared and viewed. Now, this is what I thought happened to Lazarus after he came from the dead, after Jesus Christ had resurrected him. I was trying to imagine some of the things that Lazarus might have done. The first thing maybe he did was to go to the WhatsApp group and he perused through the contribution list, and he was surprised to note that people who had his debt actually had contributed more 10 times more than what they owed him, even those who had never contributed during his medical fundraising before he died, because he had admitted in hospital, that is the assumption, and he had approached a few friends to assist in the payment or in the clearance of the hospital bill, but he was surprised to see them who are being among the people who had contributed for his burial. Now, number two, he rose up and he realized that there were some mourners who are mourning. Some of them were eating, others meeting in small groups and talking and in very low tones, others laughing and having fun, eating and drinking. And to his surprise, there were some neighbors and even great friends who had never set foot in his own house, but they were there mourning, and that's okay. But he was surprised. Why is it that you are visiting my home after my departure and you have never set foot in this house? Even some relatives, distant relatives, were still among the mourners. And number three thing that Lazarus did, he went to his former workstation, and he also realized they had already brought a replacement. His desk was already occupied and work was flowing as normal. Nothing had changed. Now, number four, he also realized his wife had already been thrown out of his home simply because the land that he was supposed to inherit had not been transferred in his name. And so his brothers and other relatives and uncles thought the wife, who was relatively young, might inherit what Lazarus was entitled for inheritance. And so this particular time, the wife and the little kid had been thrown out of the family farm, and she was mourning there. She had gone back to his family. Number five, he was surprised to find that his wardrobe in a few days was empty. And as he was going around, he realized some of his clothes were being worn by his cousins and some relatives, and even some of them had even been distributed among friends. That was something that made Lazarus to be very, very surprised. Number six, he went to his church where he was serving as an assistant pastor. And to his amazement, that Sunday, there was a newly ordained assistant pastor in his place, and the service was flowing as normal. People looked very excited. They were worshiping, though mourning Lazarus, but nothing changed in his church. And number seven, he also went to his social media accounts. He went to TikTok, Facebook. He was surprised to realize that people who had never commented about his content, they had never shared his videos, they had never shared his good content, because he was a content creator online. But he noted that, especially on YouTube, that his viewership had gone to a record high. Actually, he was trending on every social media platform. People who had never commented about his content, people who had never appreciated him. Oh, there were messages that were flooding his pages. Rest in peace, Brother Lazarus. Now, what is the moral of this story? That as we live in this life, there are things that people will never do to us. There is someone who said that give people their flowers and their praises while they are still alive or while they still live. Well, it is good to support people when they die because sometimes it can be very burdensome for the family, for the bereaved, for the family of the bereaved. That's okay. But over exaggerating death and like we celebrate death more than life is quite unethical. Is quite undesirable. It is not in order. Because when you are sick, that is when you need people to visit you in the hospital. When you need people to support you in the payment or in the clearance of your medical bills or in support of your medical bills, people don't come in handy. But when you die, people who could not even contribute a single cent to support you while in the hospital, they will come and they will support you handsomely or very generously. And so we need to celebrate life more than death. We need to appreciate people when they are still alive. We need to love people. We need to show kindness. We need to comment on people's content, especially those people who are on social media and they are content creators. It's good to appreciate them. I've realized people perusing through your videos, your online content, and they will never even tick or just appreciate just by clicking something or just appreciating and even without commenting. And they know that's a good message. They know you are talking some good things and of course blessing and benefiting the body of Christ, but they will never comment. Wait until you pass on. God forbid, we are still here for some time to serve God's purposes. But this is a good idea, assuming that you are the one. You have just died 4 days, and then Jesus comes and he resurrects you. This is not Hakaya Zawabunuasi. This is not fiction. This is a true story, something that really took place. Lazarus had died, and for 4 days he was in the tomb, and the man's body was decomposing, and Jesus resurrected Lazarus after being dead for 4 days. I thought maybe this is what he behaved. Went to the WhatsApp group, looked at the mourners. He went to his former workstation. He was already replaced. His wife had already been thrown out of the family because of land issues. His wardrobe, there was nothing there. He had to go back to buy new clothes. The church had already replaced him as an assistant pastor, and his social media account had really received so many followership people had really followed, shared his videos that more than any other time during his other life. God bless you. Shalom.